At 8:30 that morning, you had firehouses filled with firemen talking about the same thing that you spoke about to your colleagues at work today. At 8:47, everything changed. And these firefighters that went in there did not know that they were going into a war. That wasn't in the game plan when they got off those fire trucks. They were going to put out a fire.
The attacks on the World Trade Center towers on September 11, 2001 tested emergency responders well beyond their limits of experience and imagination. As the first 911 calls poured in, New York City firefighters, police, and emergency personnel, whether on duty or off, rushed to Lower Manhattan.
Well, that's confirmed. We have fire on several floors of the World Trade Center.
Unaware of the impending collapse of both World Trade Center towers, their sole focus was rescue. As first responders searched for and evacuated victims, the intense heat rapidly distorted and weakened the massive steel giant.
Oh my God.
Within hours, emergency and support personnel across the nation and the world responded to New York's call for help. It would become the greatest rescue and recovery mission in the nation's history. The World Trade Center complex encompassed 16 acres and contained 7 high-rise buildings, including the World Trade Center towers. Home to hundreds of international businesses, the Twin Towers were icons of economic success and symbols for New York City and its famous skyline.
North on Easy Street, you could feel the heat and the dust cloud.
Just after the towers collapsed, casualty estimates were in the tens of thousands.
I knew I couldn't outrun it, so I dove into a police command vehicle into the bus.
Debris and dust. Conditions are unreal here. The command post is in trouble.
We have people trapped in the building on the first floor.
We got buried alive. That became our graveyard. The force of the explosion, whatever was on the street, just sealed off any way to get out. We basically took our last breath, and Lieutenant Tim again from the New York Police Department was able to get to a handgun he had. Put the handgun up against the one window that we were trying to get in. The next thing I remember hearing is pop, pop, pop. At that point, all we knew, we had air again. We didn't know what was going on. We couldn't see anything. The building was completely blackened out. You couldn't see the sun, nothing. It looked like a tornado, a war. It looked very surrealistic. The ground started shaking again. And I basically looked up at the sky and said, oh my God, here we go again. I grabbed my partner and tucked her underneath me, brought her to the ground. The debris really got bad coming in. Then it was a deadly silence. Very deadly, deadly silence.
I was thinking I have to get the people together and start getting communications together and see what we have to do to go in to create an operation, what's needed to do a rescue. That was what's on my mind.
Joseph Morris, retired chief of the Port Authority Police Department, is no stranger to disaster. Having responded to the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, Morris was well aware of the importance